Live. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We should be live. We're super excited to have David Meltzer here with us, and my co-founder Jimmy is over there as well, calling in from Jersey. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I know there's some obviously crazy times going on right now, but we wanted to host these events. We want to just continue to bring people together during this time to network and just get insights from amazing speakers like Dave. And, we're really, really excited to have him on board. As you guys are coming in, please make sure you're introducing yourselves in the chat. There's also an ask a question button right at the bottom here, so you can ask Dave a question. He's going to go into his talk, and then we're going to do a Q&A at the end. I'm going to let Jimmy here go into a little bit about our upcoming events that we have this week, and then we'll jump right into it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michael. This is great. David, thank you for coming on tonight. My name is Jim Dulambakis. I'm the co-founder of Entre. I head up the events. We have an event on Wednesday, the 8th. We're interviewing the CEO of Hawk Media. The day after, on the 9th, we're doing COVID-19 business opportunities financial relief event. So basically that's we're going to talk about what opportunities we have. You can find all this information on joinentre.com/events, which Michael is sharing with you. And the event on the 9th is just to talk about, loans, relief programs, opportunities, things that can help you, give you maybe some tools to get the business going or moving forward or growing and scaling. Again, thank you all for coming. Have a safe and healthy night, and tune in again. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, like you said, we have a lot of events coming up, and I know Dave's doing his free trainings every Friday as well. So we'll be dropping links to that throughout this whole time. We're going to be constantly there's a call to action button here as well. If you guys want to join Entre and get into our app, we're doing these events, but we're also gearing up to launch our app, which is going to connect the entrepreneurs, not just in our community, but around the world, and help people find freelancers, investors, mentors easier and faster. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up right here, go on our website, check it out, and jump into it. So I think we're going to let a couple more people come through. It looks like we have a good amount of people on right now. We'll give it a few more minutes. Once again, if you're just coming in, drop your names in the chat, drop your LinkedIn's, drop all that, so that you guys can connect after the event and everything. And yeah, let's jump into it. So I'm super pumped about this. I mean, I've been waiting a long time. I got Dave's first book right here behind me, Connected to Goodness. So if you guys haven't checked this out, it's an excellent book. It gives a great perspective on just not just business, but just, how to do business in the right way and connecting to the best part of yourself as well. So, Dave, I'm going to let you jump into things. I know you've been doing a lot of stuff over these last few weeks, helping people, mentoring people. You're a business coach, you're a speaker, you've been an entrepreneur pretty much for the last however long you've been an entrepreneur, investor, everything, influencer, you name it, you've done it. You have wealth of knowledge. And, I think everyone here is excited to hear your thoughts on, kind of where we're at right now, current situation, how people can still generate revenue, how people can build an online brand or digital presence during this time, because that's a huge opportunity that we're in right now for people to do this. So I'll let you jump into things. Feel free to, I'm going to kind of take myself off to give you the full screen, and I'll come back up if there's any other questions, or if people have questions, and we can give you the floor for the time being. And super excited about this.
Right on. I'll go ahead and flow for 10 or 15 minutes, and then hopefully generate some interest and curiosity. I've been through similar circumstances, but nothing like this. And, living through 93, 97, 2001, 2008, when I say I've lived through situations like this, it's situations of compressed uncertainty. What makes people anxious is uncertainty. What makes people uncertain is the future. And when things change quickly, and nobody likes change except for a wet baby, when things change quickly, we compress uncertainty, and a lot of people create more interference, voids, and shortages to what they want, instead of understanding that there's huge opportunities that lie within the context of what's happening, as long as we focus in on a few things. One, cash and culture. This is an opportunity to understand your cash. There's so many businesses I know right now that are gross revenue down, but profit up. There's many companies now that are understanding the millions of dollars that they wasted, and as much as they've lost in the last few weeks and may lose over the next few months, they will regain it from the knowledge that they've acquired. So cash is important because the heartbeat of your company is cash. And so if you think you're doing a favor by paying your employees because they need it and you're going to go out of business, that's a bad decision. Those employees will hate you when you go out of business anyway. So you might as well let the government and the taxes that you paid support them as you keep your business in business so that you can have a fresh start. This is not a time to rebuild. You don't have to rebuild anything. This is a time to take inventory on what you have. And the number one thing you should be taking inventory is your culture. What are your values, your personal values, your experiential values, your giving values, and receiving values? If you aren't taking inventory at least every day, you're making a big mistake, because don't look at this time as far as it's time to rebuild and adjust, et cetera. No. I take it like when I graduated college and looked at my buddies, I'm like, man, imagine if we could go back to school right now, knowing what we know, right? Imagine how cool that would be. Go back to college and redo it one time, knowing what you know after you graduate. That's exactly what you're about to do. This is a time that you can get ahead or catch up. This is a time to look at everything and take inventory of everything. Be your own chief betterment officer. Look to see how you can make everything better. All of these things are pushing to something better. It is forcing us to change, but change for the better if you take inventory of your cash and your culture. Now, how do we deal with the uncertainty? Well, I always say focus in on what you want. So if you focus in on what you want, you can focus in on what you can be certain about, what you have control over. There's 4 things that you have control over no matter what the circumstances are. Number 1, your mindset. So if you're not practicing mindset, you're making a big mistake. You have control of your mindset. I use a Meltzer kaleidoscope, a lens of productivity, how productive, how much value can I provide to others, a lens of accessibility, how accessible am I to others, and how am I accessing what I want, how am I receiving, and then also a lens of gratitude. How am I learning to love everything about what I'm doing? Now, listen to me. I've been told all my life that I've loved what I've done. I've been so lucky because I love what I do. I have only loved a portion of what I've done, right? Only loved a little bit of it. I learned to love the rest. So, and I've been surrounded by professional athletes when I ran Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment and Sports One Marketing and all the great things I get to do. But all the greats, all the people that I was jealous of when I was a young man, wanting to have a job, if I only could be the president of a team, if I only could play shortstop for the Padres, if I only could do this, what I've learned about all of those things is none of them love what they do. They love a portion of what they do, and they learn to love the rest. And that's what you want to do here with your mindset. Love what you can right now. Like everyone loves spending more time. Well, almost everyone. Almost everyone loves spending more time with their kids, right? Learn to love the rest. Everyone loves being at home more often, not having to commute. There's tons of stuff to love. Learn to love the rest. The second thing that we have control over is what we hear and what we say. It's really important in times of certainty that you're not inundated with a bunch of negative energy. I always say, surround yourself with the right people, the right ideas. Show me your friends, they'll show you your future. I see too many people today becoming paralyzed and inundating themselves with negative energy, corrosion and obstruction to what they want without taking control. Seek what you want to hear. Seek what you want to say. Pay attention plus intention for the coincidences that you want in your life. So go ahead. I have some stable data that I want every day. And at 5:15 Pacific time every day, I Google about 6 different things to find out the stable data that I want. But you won't see the news just constantly pouring negative energy onto me in any way. I'm not going to be inundated with things I don't want. I'm going to seek what I want, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to rapidly and accurately do it because I have control in what I hear, and I have control of what I say. The next thing I have control is my feelings. Happiness. That's what I seek. I seek to feel happy. That's all I seek. So if it doesn't make me happy, I figure out how can it make me happy. And I do that because happiness is my main mission in life. I'm trying to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, create a collective consciousness of happiness. Happiness creates abundance. Happiness creates a person that makes a lot of money, helps a lot of people, and has a lot of fun. Happiness is the most viral disease ever. It is so viral that you can become happy just by witnessing it. And the cool thing about happiness, it actually will strengthen your immune system. The fourth thing that you have control over is your actions. And so I want to be as productive, accessible, and gracious as I can by studying, paying attention, and putting in attention to everything that I have planned, everything I don't have planned, and even my sleep. I put basic construct to my day by studying, paying attention, and putting in intention for the coincidences I want into everything that I have planned. I am taking inventory of what I have so I can have a fresh start with the 4 things that I am in control of. And so these are the methodologies. Now, one last thing, and then I'm going to take some Q&A. People are sitting at home and wondering, how can I make money? I lost my job. Look, let me give you some simple advice. Go ahead, look at the stock market in the morning and go ahead and do a search and find the 50 best performing stocks. Look for the capabilities that you have that are synergistic or supplementary to the 50 companies that are doing the best right now, and you will discover how you can make some money. Look at the 50 stocks that have maintained or sustained the best over the last 6 months, even through this uncertainty. You then look for the supplementary and synergistic capabilities that you have, and you now can create sustainability within the context of making money. And then finally, a lot of you are in a position that is more stable. And so you want to go ahead and look at the stocks that 50 companies and industries that have just got crushed. And then you want to go seek mentorship and go ahead and find the expert in the industry in which you want to invest or the capabilities that you have that are synergistic or supplementary, and ask those people when it's oversold and go ahead and apply yourself to that, either economically or situationally or energy-wise, whatever it may be. You want to take advantage of those because the pendulum always swings too far. And if you can have the right mentorship, people who have experienced 93, 97, 2001, 2008, or even beyond. Remember, more millionaires were made in the Depression than any other time because people took advantage of understanding where opportunities exist. And don't be guilty about making money right now. Right? Feel guilty if you don't spend that money correctly, if you don't shop for the right things, if you don't utilize it with appreciation to help other people. But you should, there's 3 worlds, just enough, not enough, and more than enough, right? Those that live in the world of not enough will always be victims. This is all happening to you. You will live in blame, shame, and justification for the next 20 years, about 2020. Then there's some of you that live in the world, it's a filled world of just for you. And you'll make money. And you'll end up being empty because this is just for you. But if you can live in a world of more than enough, making room for what you want so it comes through you with appreciation for others, you will be fulfilled, not filled. And you will create abundance for yourself. You will live in a world of more than enough for everyone and everything. And you will find and make it through this time of uncertainty as you will other future times of uncertainty by making a lot of money and helping a lot of people and having a lot of fun. Go ahead, be pragmatic about what you're doing. Look at the capabilities that you have. Find the synergistic and supplementary things that you can do to make money today and in the future. There's plenty of opportunity right now. The 3 things that you need is develop those skills, acquire the knowledge, especially through mentorship, and have a desire to must be what you can be. And I promise you, you will be successful. All right. That's about as much time as they gave me to speak. I'm really interested in Q&A.
All right. Thanks, Dave. That was awesome. Yeah. So everyone, I have a question myself for you before, just so everyone knows, we are going to ask questions and we're going to do Q&A right now. So gear up your questions. I have one real quick. So as this all has happened, you've noticed, and you have yourself done a lot of more online Instagram lives, all sorts of stuff, free trainings. You've been promoting yourself, and I'm sure you've gotten a lot of traction through your social channels in these last couple of months. I'd like, if you can, to maybe share even a couple pieces of advice or strategies for people on just the online game right now in and of itself, and why people should be, jumping on this opportunity, since everyone is kind of stuck in the digital world almost, and how much you're leveraging that to then propel you through this time. Because after this is up, you're building so many fans right now, and you're building such a big following right now. And I know it because I see it every day, what's happening. And, as things get better, you're going to have accumulated this whole following. So if you can real quick dive into maybe some strategies, advice on building that or doing that, and maybe taking some, from what you have done and what's worked over the last couple of weeks for yourself.
Sure. And I started 3 years ago, met a great guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, who told me that I should put consistent quality content out. And for me, what that meant was come up with as many lessons that I can help people with and tell stories so that they could understand the strength of my signal, of my passion, of my frequency, of my vibration. Pick the right spectrum. Don't try to tell stories and lessons to everyone. There is a bandwidth. I'm not an 87%er. Like everybody, if you wonder why Tiger King is so popular, or the Kardashians are so popular, because it's for the masses, right? Everybody wants to watch a train wreck. I want you to avoid a train wreck. And so I'm talking not to the masses, but I'm trying to have a strong signal with lessons and stories, a specific spectrum of people who want to accelerate and improve, that want to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of their potential, people who want to be happy, the certain percentage that are willing to not only do the work, but have the potential to do extraordinary things and understand what their potential is and are consistently trying to improve. Progress, not perfection. I'm looking for, the perpetuation of that content. So this started long before the times of uncertainty, but the last 3 weeks, and I think a lot of the people who helped me build my brand before this all happened, like these unbelievable group of guys, it's amazing, right? I leaned in and I said, I'm going to capture more content. I'm going to modify more content. I'm going to amplify more content. I'm going to perpetuate more content at my frequency with the same signal I've been giving, with the same spectrum I've been trying to reach, with as clear as a message that I can. But I'm going to lean in because I know that quality content consistency will last before, during, and after. And the opportunity that lies for everyone is that it's a matter of math. And this is the one thing I told Gary when I met him. He said, well, what are you doing this for? Right? He was very much, pragmatic Gary. What are you doing it for? Why do you want to do this? And I said, because I want to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. And I think I have a strong message and lessons through my journey to teach. And so how are you going to get there? I said, 2 people at a time. I am Noah of the digital space. I'm the old guy in Ark. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, if I can just get 2 people a year to really hit that strength of signal spectrum and clear message to tell people and empower them to tell 2 people a year, that, I'm 50 now. When I'm 70, I'll have 2 million people telling 2 million, and the numbers just get extraordinary from there. Now, that was a conservative plan. I'm leaning in, and I'm already getting there. And the last 3 weeks have accelerated me at least 3 years beyond what has happened or what I could imagine. I'm leaning in. When everyone else runs away, I lean in. When everyone else is, buying, I'm selling. It's just math and logic to me. And so if you are a brand or you represent brands or you want to build your frequency, don't try to get millions and millions of people in the next, 3 months. Go ahead. What you really want to do is start the process of building your lessons and stories, capturing it, practicing capturing it, practice modifying it, practice amplifying it on the appropriate platforms that are aligned with the strength of your signal, the spectrum, and the clear message that you have, and also create a strategy to perpetuate your content. Part of my success is that a lot of my content was perpetual. It's been out there and it's applicable to today. Right? Inspired speech about happiness, about pragmatic ways to make money, help people have fun, how to rebuild and restart or a new start. That's all. Look, I lost so much money in 2008. I branded myself with humility to tell people, look, I made it through, but I'm happy. I was happy before, during, and after. Here's the lessons that I learned, and I don't want you to have to pay the dummy tax. So build your brand. Go ahead. I talk about a lot of this on Fridays in my trainings too. So they'll post that 11 a.m. Pacific time Fridays, free training for everyone, how to build your brand, how to monetize it for you or your clients, leaning in, how to be happy, how to make more money, help more people have more fun. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone building a brand, but lean in. This is your time. Double, triple it up.
I love that. Yeah, it's huge. And I think right now it's a really important time for that, and for people to take this opportunity. So we have a couple questions here that I think are really relevant, and kind of you kind of alluded to this earlier about mentors and everything. So we have a question from Sully: what's the best way to find mentors, and what would be your outreach strategy? Have you had, do you have advice for that?
Yeah, I have a minimum of 3 mentors at all time in my life. I do a lot of due diligence. I'm more interested than interesting to find people that sit in a situation that I want to be in. For example, I didn't know who Gary Vaynerchuk was. I met him 3 Super Bowls ago because I was looking for the person that knew how to digitally grow a brand. And I went right to the top. I purposely sought him out, and then I asked for help. I was straightforward, but I didn't just say, hey, Gary. What I did was I did all the research, found out that they were building a sports agency, saw that my capabilities were synergistic and supplementary to what his brother was doing. I know how people feel about brothers, so I offered my services to help their sports agency because I ran the most notable sports agency in the world. Then I said to Gary, dude, can you help me? I'm looking to build a brand. Am I too old? Am I too stupid? What should I do? And we've been really close, sharing ideas. He is extremely abundant and gracious with his help. That's why he publishes that. He's like the St. Jude Hospital of digital media, man. He'll publish and help everyone. And he's taught me to do the same, which is why I give my books for free. I pay for shipping. I give away all my advice, my trainings, everything I can for free. The same as Gary as well. So go ahead, find 3 mentors that sit in. Look, don't think that someone has to be the overarching mentor. Like my mom is still my parenting mentor, right? She's an extraordinary, but she is so bad at business. I don't ever ask her one business. She thought the internet was going to be a fad. Trust me. But so find 3 people and don't be afraid. Someone asked me a day, like, how am I going to ask, like Steve Wynn or some of these guys that, look, make yourself equal, then make yourself different. So find something to connect emotionally to. If you're talking to Eddie DeBartolo and you want help from him, talk about football. He loves football. If you're talking to a rocket scientist, talk about Mars or aliens or something that you can find out. And the best way to find out what someone's emotionally attached to is ask them, what do you like about it? And what don't you like about it? Once you get them to express what they like and don't like, you get an emotional attachment. Then you can ask for help, and then you can see how you can be of service as well.
Yeah, that's huge. I love it. I mean, it's been you've been a great mentor for me, and working and collaborating on these events and stuff together, and it's huge. I mean, just even if you can't even be in the same room as the highest people at the top, you can still follow them now also on social and watch their videos. Like, you might not. Dave is literally one of the most accessible people I've ever met in my whole life at the level that he's at, and he's intentional about that. But other people at his level and everything too, they might not be as accessible as Dave, but you can still watch their videos. You could still listen to their podcast and get their knowledge and information in that way as well.
Can I interject too? Look, you can be aggressive too. Like there's a kid, Josh Ork, right? Like he started this fitness company, and they're like fastest growing franchise until the COVID. But he would send, and he made the investment, but I thought it was genius. He would send a 18-wheeler tire. He FedEx me one, Ed Milet one, Gary one, and that's how he got mentorship. That's how he got on our podcast. He's like, you think I'll leave treads on you or whatever? Look, like 10 grand, but for that 10 grand, I think he got on the top 10 podcasts in the world, and he has relationships with the top 10 mentors. 10 grand's nothing to have access to people. So you don't have to, just keep sending the same email every day. Be creative. I used to go to charitable events on purpose where there was somebody I wanted to meet and volunteer or donate, so I could go ahead and have an emotional connection to someone and say, oh, you're on the board? Oh, I love this charity. But I was very intentional going to that charitable event, because I might as well, if I'm going to give money for charity, I might as well create more abundance for me, knowing that, how much money it would cost. I got to sit with at the Hall of Fame Foundation for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Warren Buffett. You know what people paid to sit with Warren Buffett? And I got to ask him, and I wasn't joking. I was like, Warren, if I give you an industry, will you tell me when it's oversold? That was the only question I asked him. I gave him my email address, right? Think about how much money that's worth.
Well, he auctions off a dinner with him every year, and it's like
$2 million.
I forget how it's tens of millions of dollars to have a dinner with him. So that's hilarious. So that's a great story. Fantastic. All right, we have another question here from AB, maybe Abe. Hopefully not Antonio Brown, or maybe it is Antonio Brown. Who knows?
I hope so.
What is your advice on finding the right people to join my team for an app I'm starting? So It seems like he's building a tech company.
So I hire by values. You look at resumes, you narrow down the pile by skills, look for the skills and knowledge that it looks as people need to have a job. But for me, I hire off of 4 values, because I can't teach them, and I know we'll be aligned if we have the same values. So first, I test an interview for gratitude, because if they have a gracious perspective, their past is better, their present's even better than that, their future's brighter. They're just going to be such a positive, productive, accessible person. 2, forgiveness, because I want to make a ton of mistakes. I want them to make a ton of mistakes. Forgiving people forgive themselves and forgive others, and they expand and accelerate more than anyone else. A big one is accountability. I hire for accountability. So I look to see, I'll ask somebody, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you? And then they'll explain. I'll say, whose fault was it? And the people that say mine, right, I give serious look at. If they go deep into blame, shame, and justification, not going to get hired by me, because I know where that's going really fast. And then finally, I look for the inspired, not the motivated. So let me explain the difference. Motivation is short-term. Motivation can be caused by fear, because fear causes focus. Focus is what causes motivation. When we get hyper-focused, we get very motivated, but it doesn't last. Fear and focus, they're actually a soul sucker. They'll suck the energy. They'll create more interference and corrosion to that great source of light, love, and lessons and power that you're created to. I look for people that throughout their lives are practicing inspiration, right? They're inspired. They're in spirit. These are the people that you talk to and you can see they glow, that they're really tan usually. No kidding. They have an aura about them. They're inspired. They're in spirit. Not only are they have a clear connection, and they're the people that you call lucky. They're the people that fall into the gutter and come out smelling like roses. They just have these stories about them. A touch of favor is always upon them, but they also are giving that to others. And they have the stories during the interview process to share with you the inspiration, the connection of not only of where they're drawing their power and source and light and love and lessons, but how they're giving their light, lessons, and love to others. And so if you look at gratitude forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration, you'll find no matter what business you are in, those people that also have the skills and knowledge, you have that intangible desire to be what you must be.
Fantastic. How have you, I mean, you've built tech companies and stuff before as well. Do you have any recommendations on building out apps and websites, things like that? Because there's a lot of different strategies. You can spend time trying to find a technical co-founder. You can try to learn how to code and build it yourself or an MVP yourself. You could hire an agency. You could hire a freelancer. Do you have any insights onto what you think and what you've seen has worked the best from that standpoint?
Yeah, it's a matter of money, right? So it's the best use of your money. Some people have, I don't believe in sacrifice. I believe in investment in yourself. And so you have to look at the dollars and what gives you the best results. You know, there's some companies I've been involved with that have, literally raised $100 million. Now, they're not going to develop themselves. There's other people, I got 2 kids from UCLA developing an application right now and a platform right now, and they're doing everything themselves. So look, everything to me is number 1, the credibility of who I'm working with. 2, that emotional attachment. 3, can I quantify the best reasons that I'll go forward with this, the impact it's going to have on my business, and the capabilities that each of those different opportunities have for me? And then I can make a math decision. And that math is which one has the strongest business case to see why I wouldn't move forward in this direction. So I try to apply math and money to as much as I can. I mean, all my business I do, like especially my top executive coaching that I do, I only work month to month and I guarantee profitability. So each individual month is its own business, and I mitigate all risk with anyone that works with me as a business advisor, a business coach. I only want to take money from people that I've made more money from, and I want to guarantee it. And I do the same thing when I spend my money on employees. I tell them all the time, look, it's a bottom line thing. I want to see performance that's profitable. There's subjective value in everything. I'm going to repeat that. There's subjective value in everything, including introductions. I love people that, are buying introductions, call themselves networkers and connections or whatever. I'm like, look, I don't want introductions that are going to result in hugs, especially today. I can't hug anybody. I want introductions that are going to result in money. I look to the quantitative value in things, not the subjective value. Do so whenever you're looking for employees, outsourced help, do it yourself, whatever it may be. There's math that you can apply to it.
I love that. Yeah, I think especially building out technology, it really is a financial decision because some of this stuff costs so much, especially if you want to hire top talent to do it. But I love that advice, and anyone building out tech company and stuff, it's an interesting perspective on things that I think is really important as well. And yeah, I mean,